More staff just gives Biden the chance to hire a bunch of woke people who will do everything possible to help bring more migrants into the country, because that's how this works.
So now all of a sudden you have Laura Ingraham turning around and pointing to border jobs, including Border Patrol, and by the way, the judges who need to adjudicate the asylum cases and get people, processed as quickly as possible. She thinks those are woke jobs.
Laura Ingraham of Fox News is now claiming that the border bill is woke because for MAGA right-wingers, everything is woke. Cenk Uygur and Ana Kasparian of the Young Turks broke all this down. We're going to take a look at clips of Laura Ingraham from Fox News, as well as clips of Cenk Uygur and Ana Kasparian. I'll share my thoughts from time to time as well. As you can imagine, this is totally ridiculous, these clips that we're going to take a look at. Let's check this out together.
Conservatives essentially get nothing they want, and liberals get everything they want. Oh, but wait. Because Senator Langford says that the bill would allocate more money for immigration judges and other personnel. You know what I say to that? So what? More staff just gives Biden the chance to hire a bunch of woke people who will do everything possible to help bring more migrants into the country, because that's how this works.
When did Border Patrol become woke? I guess they became woke when Laura Ingraham decided that Republicans passing the immigration bill that they've been begging for years and years would be a bad idea because it could be a political win for Biden. So now she's urging them to obstruct any efforts to pass immigration legislation. And who she's referring to is a Republican Senator, James Langford, who called out members of his own party for being obstructionists because the bipartisan Senate bill that he's trying to get passed is honestly like a giant goodie bag of Republican asks for the border. So now all of a sudden you have Laura Ingraham turning around and pointing to border jobs, including Border Patrol, and by the way, the judges who need to adjudicate the asylum cases and get people, processed as quickly as possible. She thinks those are woke jobs. It is amazing how they can apply the woke label onto anything they want, literally anything they want. All right, so what's in the legislation that, by the way, is a bipartisan effort with James Langford, a Republican senator from Oklahoma, Chris Murphy, a Democrat, and Kirsten Sinema, an independent. Well, the bill would require the Department of Homeland Security to nearly shut down the border, which is what Republicans have been wanting, okay? And they would do so when the number of migrant crossings increase above 5,000 per day on any given week, or if the average daily encounters reach a 4,000 a day threshold in 1 week. This would require more Border Patrol, but apparently those are woke jobs for woke people, according to Laura Ingraham, who's falling over herself, trying to figure out what kind of lies she can tell her audience about why they should now suddenly be against passing the legislation that they have been conditioned to be in favor of for literally years now. Amazing.
Yeah, so guys, she said that liberals get everything they want out of this deal. Yesterday on the show, I said that the Republicans got everything they asked for out of this deal. So one of us is clearly wrong and maybe lying, right? So how do you guys tell? Because it's so hard to tell these days with media. You got the right-wing media saying something, you've got corporate media saying something else entirely, and you've got left-wingers saying something, and then we're trying to be the ones giving you the actual truth, and you'll see us criticize our own side. You'll see us criticize Democrats, Republicans, etc. But that doesn't mean we're necessarily right, right? So how can you tell? Well, let's look at quotes 4 and 5 here from Mitch McConnell and see if that gives us a clue as to who was happy with the bill and who wasn't, and who changed their mind. So Punchbowl News reports, McConnell told GOP senators that before border security talks began, immigration policy united Republicans and Ukraine aid divided them. Quote, politics on this have changed. McConnell said of solving the crisis at the US-Mexico border, that's because former President Donald Trump wants to run his 2024 campaign focusing on immigration. So before Donald Trump spoke, McConnell said, if you put the border provisions we want in, we'll give you the Ukraine and Israel funding. After Trump spoke, Mitch McConnell said it has changed. In fact, graphic 5, quote, McConnell saying, we don't want to do anything to undermine him.
What's crazy about this to me is how this is almost unprecedented. I think we had some kind of similar things happening when Reagan first ran, but how unprecedented is it to have a guy who's not even in office in Donald Trump dictating what an entire party does? I mean, this guy can tell the Republicans in Congress what to do, and he's not even in office. It's unbelievable. And it's also incredible that all the Republicans do is say, the immigrants are coming to get you. They're our biggest threat, and there's an immigrant hiding under your bed right now. But then they're presented with a bill that would give them basically everything they want, and they shut it down. I mean, that's just unreal. We have a party in the Republican Party that is completely unserious and obstructionist. And with Laura Ingraham, she sounds like a child here, saying liberals get everything that they want and conservatives don't get anything that they want. I mean, that's sounding like a child, Laura Ingraham. And in terms of the woke thing, what's really hilarious to me, this makes me think of one of my favorite memes. You know, it used to be everything I don't like is communist or everything I don't like is socialist with conservatives. Well, now it's everything that I don't like is woke, which brings me to one of my favorite memes. Everything I don't like is woke, and you have this picture of this kid pointing to an engine, and it just says, this engine is woke. I mean, if that doesn't sum up the current right wing, I don't know what does.
That's Donald Trump.
God, it's just so sad.
So, who's right, who's wrong? Well, I told you, Republicans got everything they wanted, and then McConnell accidentally said, yeah, we changed our position because Donald Trump said he doesn't want to help Biden. And so they took everything that the Democrats gave them that they asked for, and they said, even though you gave us everything, now because of Trump, we don't want it, and we don't want border security. Let them pour in because we want to blame Biden for it. We don't actually care. I mean, every Republican talks about, oh, the scourge of fentanyl crossing the border, they're murdering our kids. Now they go, good, keep murdering kids, we're gonna blame it on Biden. Oh, fentanyl, we love it. Keep doing it, we're gonna blame Biden.
Yeah, neither party cares about how fentanyl has destroyed communities, destroyed lives, has led to, at this point, over 100,000 overdose deaths per year. Neither party cares. They like to point to these issues during their campaigning, but once the campaign is over, once the election is over, once they have secured their position of power, all of a sudden, the drug overdoses don't matter at all. So let's be clear, they don't care about the fentanyl coming in from the border at all.
Yeah, so
it's a talking point for them. It's disgusting.
So on that point, fentanyl kills 100,000 people a year, Americans, real Americans who die. Gun violence kills nearly that number. So that's a massive danger. I think it's gun violence is around 60,000 if I'm not mistaken. So that's 160,000 dead Americans, right? But what are they all trying to do? Pass a bill that gives $60 billion to Ukraine, $14 billion to Israel, money to Taiwan, etc., because they're worried about terrorism that might affect, or wars that affect those countries. They're doing nothing here. Fentanyl, guns, zero. Both parties, nothing. Yes, the Democrats are better on guns, but it doesn't matter. As soon as the Republicans say no, they go, okay, sorry, I didn't mean to bring it up. Filibuster, parliamentarian, we can't do anything. There's no way we can do anything. So as we get slaughtered here, neither party does anything except help the defense contractors get richer by funding more wars that have nothing to do with us.
And Cenk Uygur's completely right about that. I mean, I would 100% agree. Our government feels like they have to deal with these issues overseas because they're bought off by the defense contractors, but they don't actually care about doing anything for us. I mean, neither party. So Cenk Uygur's completely right about that.
So that's the American government. And then meanwhile, you have liars like Laura Ingraham going out there and going, oh, the real problem is if we try to fix the border, it'll be woke.
They're gonna create jobs for woke people.
Is the border gonna get woke? Does the border wake up and go, oh my God, I don't mind gay people or black people. Boo, border, go back to sleep.
The border's gonna start preaching DEI.
Oh yeah,
that's what's going to happen. We're going to have DEI at the border.
Yeah, and guys, look, if you're MAGA, look, seriously, guys, seriously, when she says dumb stuff like that, you really believe the problem is that the border agents are too woke? It's the same border agents that were under Trump. They didn't fire all the border agents and hire all new border agents. It's the same exact border agents that were under Trump. Now all of a sudden they all went woke and they're like, where's gay people? We love them. We're gonna give everything to gay people and black people. You really believe that? There's something wrong with you, brothers and sisters, man. Please go check yourself out if you believe insanity like that. Please don't believe obvious lies.
Now, I think what Laura, they don't really quite touch on this. They're talking just about the border agents. But Laura Ingraham brought up the immigration attorneys for asylum seekers. And that's one of the big problems at the border is there aren't enough immigration attorneys for these asylum seekers, which is written into our laws that people can seek asylum. And there aren't enough attorneys to process all of those people. Well, Laura Ingraham doesn't care. So that I think that's not, I don't want to say in her defense because they just use woke as a catch-all for everything. And I think she's totally wrong about this, but they don't want those immigration attorneys. They don't want the asylum seekers coming in. They want those people to be sent back. And the people like Laura Ingraham, even with a bill like this, they look at it as giving in to the liberals because anything other than there being just a moat full of alligators around the border and, electrocuting the immigrants as soon as they walk across, to them is too liberal because you're allowing immigrants to come into the country and possibly have, some work done to have a path to citizenship for them. So, yeah, Laura Ingraham, this may not be her real view, but a lot of the MAGA base, they don't want there to be a single immigrant to come into the country. They don't want there to be asylum seekers and all of that. So they, in my mind, they do look at this as selling out to the left because anything other than just evaporate, having laser beams to, take out the immigrants as soon as they come across to them is woke, quote unquote. But otherwise, I think Cenk Uygur and Ana Kasparian are spot on with what they're saying here. And they just use woke for everything that they don't like. It's just become a meaningless word for anything that right-wingers don't like. But what do you think? Do you agree with Cenk Uygur and Ana Kasparian here? Do you think Laura Ingraham has a point about what they're saying? To me, it's incredible that it's just amazing to me that Donald Trump continues to have this much power. A guy who's not even president can tell an entire party what to do. And when you're claiming that the border is so important, but then you will squash a border bill just so the other party can't win, to me, you're getting into where that's borderline treasonous. We only ever talk about treason in terms of the military, but these things like specifically going against laws and bills just so the other side won't win. For example, Republicans blocking aid to people in the South who are affected by hurricanes. I mean, when you're doing that for political gain, something that actually affects people's lives, to me, that's treasonous. But leave a comment for me about Cenk Uygur, Ana Kasparian, Laura Ingraham, anything else that you want to comment on. I love to read your comments. Make sure to give me a like and subscribe. The channel's growing quickly and I want to keep growing. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so because that can help me to bring out more content like this. This is Chris on Culture. I will see you in the next video.